Oh, God. Okay, this one crops up more and more. I suppose it's a good interview question. It tests what people understand by popular phrases, however meaningless they are. What is a definition of ready? It's a made-up term. There you go. If we look at it in the same light as a definition of done, it is an agreement within the team about what the state is an item needs to have achieved to be considered ready to go into a sprint. What does that mean? So, many teams that use it will say things like, it makes it really clear what has to be true and not true, what has to be completed before we as developers are confident we can get that item done within a sprint. We're talking about the state of play. Has it been analysed enough? Have enough questions, or all of the questions been answered? What's outstanding? Do we as a team feel like we can do the work properly? That's not, on its face, not a bad thing. Okay? Scrum has the word ready in it. It doesn't have a definition of ready. That's nothing to do with Scrum. But it does have ready. We talk about product backlog refinement being getting things ready for a sprint. So ready, yeah, it's good. Definition of ready is just putting some colour on that, a bit of flavour, and very often a little bit of a contract or agreement creeps in. You know, this has to be true, not that. So it seems okay. However, we have to throw good old human nature into that mix. Okay? The teams that use it tend to be new to Agile, new to Scrum. Okay? It doesn't matter how many years they say they've been doing it, they will tend to score very, very lowly when we go in and assess them, because they understand the mechanics, but they don't get the spirit, they don't get the Agile principles, the values of this. They are just doing a thing they call Scrum, or a thing they call Kanban, or a thing that whatever they call it. And it is understanding what those people are going to do with the definition of ready. Some of them may use it absolutely to its intention to help create transparency around the state of play for informed conversations between product owners and customers and stakeholders and the developers to make sure everybody's on the same page. We need things to be in this state before we've got a chance of getting it done. Great. They're the minority. Most of the teams who adopt a definition of ready will treat it like a contract. They will beat their product owner over the head with it when it suits them. They will turn around and say, that's not to our definition of ready, we're not doing that, nor's that. Now we're reducing the agility, the responsiveness of the team, the system, because they won't change based on what they've learned. They will follow a process, often to the detriment of their customer, because they have a process, because they have a contract. You haven't fulfilled your side of this agreement, so we aren't fulfilling ours. Okay? Many companies are set up for that almost combative stance. We can't succeed because you're going to ask us to do this work and we don't think we can get it done. And we don't like that because then we will be told we failed. It's a reasonable response. In many organisations, I completely get it. But it is very counter to what we're trying to achieve. You end up with product owners who can't deliver what is most important to their customers because they are held hostage by this definition of ready. They lose the ability to learn things, potentially overnight or in sprint review, that they can't get in because we haven't had time to look at this properly. We haven't had time to ask our questions. Instead of having a team who goes, okay, it's a late change. We don't know, but we can learn. Right? Do you understand, product owner, customer, stakeholder, the cost of bringing something in that we haven't had time to look at properly? We don't know what's going to pop up as we do this. In planning, we're going to focus on this thing. We're going to get it to as good a state as we can. Can we have a proper, honest conversation about the state of play as part of planning? Right? We're not going to hold you to hostage over this. We get it. It's the most important thing, and therefore it is our role to deliver it to the best of our ability. Please give us a few hours to ask questions. Please make people available for us to ask those questions of. And we're going to do our best. We are going to be as responsive to your changing needs as we can be. What we are not going to do is say we can do it if we have no confidence. Okay? But we're also not going to say we can't do it because we don't know. We're going to spend some time understanding that. Work with us, help us to get to that point. Don't hold us responsible if we don't deliver it because we didn't have time. Okay? It's a big, big difference in how teams use that definition of ready. I wish more teams took an approach of it's there, it's to make things transparent, but it is not a contract. For me, definition of ready is not a red flag, but it is a concern when I hear it used in teams, because very often they or the environments they're in are setting them up to talk about success and failure, not learning, not responsiveness, not agility. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.